Hi folks, and welcome to today's video, my best decompression exercise for an L5-S1 disc herniation. Now, if you're suffering out there with an L5-S1 disc herniation or general lumbar area herniation, then this video is for you. I'm going to be deep diving into my personal favorite decompression exercise for that herniated disc. Let's get into it. So folks, welcome to today's video, my best decompression stretch for L5-S1 disc herniation. Now, my name is Colin. I'm the founder of what's called bashbackpain.com, and I try to help a lot of people all around the world recover from their low back pain problems, mainly through disc herniations, sciatica, lumbar stenosis, lumbar arthritis, these types of things. Why should you listen to me? Well, I've been doing this more than 20 odd years now. I myself had an L5-S1 herniation and some other disc bulges, a little bit of stenosis back in 2005. I recovered fully back to normality, exercising, etc. I actually re-herniated L5-S1 back in early 2024. I am back to about 99% fully back to normal, going to the gym, different activities, etc. So I started producing a lot of great content a few years ago to help people get back on the road to recovery, because I was really sort of upset or not very happy with the sort of medical system's approach in many ways. Too many surgeries, I thought, are not the most effective physiotherapy. So I wanted to bring something out for people like yourselves, if you're watching this video, that will get them back on the road to recovery. Okay, so first time here, guys, subscribe, like this video, and keep watching. All right, so decompression. What is decompression? Decompression is where you simply create space. Okay, there's been quite a few journals written about it. A lot of anecdotal research as well, that when you decompress the spine, you can take pressure off those nerves, of the inflammatory areas, and the person can get some relief. Now, there's different types of decompression, excuse me. You can get what's called passive decompression, which is whereby you hang from a bar perhaps, or you kind of like hang off your kitchen counter, and the weight of your body will decompress your spine. You've got those inversion tables where you hang upside down like a bat, okay? You've got the quite famous one, there's the mechanical, there's the DRX 9000, I think it's called, where they strap you to the machine and they'll just sort of pull you apart, okay? So there's different forms of decompression. Now, I've used a couple of different ones myself. The one I prefer, okay, is actually a system of decompressive stretching. It's called El Doigt. Now, this is created by a man called Dr. Guy Voyer, who was a French osteopath. I learned this back in 2004, 2005. I did various courses with him. And the reason I prefer this, and I think it's the best option for most people, is because you have primary effects and secondary effects, okay? Now, the primary effect, of course, is decompression. But the thing with El Doigt is it's actually very site specific. So you adjust the body into certain positions to target L5-S1, L3, L4, L1, L2, even the neck, even the thoracic spine, okay? Different areas of the spine and different areas of the body if it's needed. This is unlike passive decompression, which targets the lumbar region as a whole, or the thoracic region as a whole, or the cervical region as a whole. You cannot target one specific area. And you can adjust with El Doigt, you can adjust how much intensity you put into it. Sometimes when you just do an unloading decompression, like if you hang from a bar or something, it's the whole weight of your body pulling down. And sometimes people can hurt themselves, okay? So I prefer the El Doigt for many, many reasons. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know to do the other ones. I do sometimes as well, okay? I've got a specific video, which is gonna flash up at the end of this one, which covers all of those other decompression exercises as well, all right? But back to El Doigt. Now, with El Doigt, to do it, we need to create space. And we create space with opposing forces, okay? If I was trying to dequat my elbow here and I pulled in one direction, the whole arm goes. If I'm trying to pull in this other direction, okay, the whole arm goes that way. So I need to create a force which goes that way and that way. And that's very important. Now, we create those forces by putting in tension what's called fascia. Fascia runs all the way from your toes, right up, all the way up into your head, okay? From your fingertips right through each side. So we have to rotate, put the body into positions to contract that fascia, to put in tension, so we can target and isolate a specific spot on the spine we want to target to decompress, okay? So primary effect is the decompression. It can take pressure off of the sciatica nerve. But the second, very important, I think, sort of benefits of these El Doigt exercises is because, as you're going to find out, you're put into a position where you physically have to hold yourself in a position. You end up working little muscles, little stabilizing muscles of your spine, okay? So actually you can improve the endurance and ability to hold yourself in a good posture and good spine hygiene, essentially, and help protect your spine, okay? I had an older gentleman one time, he was like late 70s, and he was doing a specific stretch, and he was kind of like this. He was really like, this was his start position, yeah? And as he sort of got better and better and better, he started to get into what's called the optimal position. And his wife actually said, you know, you're standing more upright now. He actually sort of improved his posture. He had kind of a forward head carriage motion, and he improved it with consistent L-DOA, okay? So we're gonna run through the setup. I'm gonna run through what the stretch looks like, and then I'm gonna talk about certain pointers that you need to be aware of to make sure that you are ready for the stretch, how to adjust it, how to modify it if you've got active sciatica, etc. Okay? Now, you will be doing this on the ground. I'm going to show you what it looks like first of all, and then work through each part. So, you would be in this position. Okay, that is the stretch position there. Now, there's a couple of things we need to do. I'm getting chased by a mosquito as I'm outside here. So if you see me swatting it, you know what I'm doing. For the tension to be applied to where we want it, which is going to be the lower back region, L5-S1, a couple of things we need to do. So you saw me on the wall there, okay? This could be a wall, it could be the back of a door, back of a high chair, all right? We'll start with the lower body first. You want to, when you're in that position, you're going to be rotating the legs, the femurs, inward, okay? Internal rotation. Now, what happens at the ankles? Well, we're going to pull the toes back towards us, okay? And you're going to rotate the foot inwards. So it's not out, it's in, okay? That is start position there, all right? Now you'll notice my upper body, obviously it was lying flat on the mat, but my arms, they also externally rotate, and the thumbs go towards the ceiling, all right? And I'm going to talk everything through again, okay? So don't panic if you're not keeping up, all right? Then we want to focus on one point being still, right? Which is going to be our lower back region, right about where our the top part of our pelvis is, just here in the L5 region. S1, of course, is the top part of your tailbone, your sacrum bone there. And we're going to be thinking about pulling that to the ground. And we do that by, the way I like to cue it is, you take a large, deep belly breath, to show you from the side here. Big belly breath, like that. My belly rises, there's that mosquito. And I'm going to breathe out. And the portion just below my belly button, I imagine is pushing through into the floor. So I'm squashing my lower back to the floor. The mosquito is very persistent. Okay? Now, that keeps the point on the floor. Then we've activated all the other parts. We then push, okay? And what we're going to be pushing with our arms away from us, right? Trying to project ourselves that way. And we imagine the heels of our feet are projecting up the wall, whilst all the time keeping that lower back pulled on to the floor. And I'm going to show you now the different angles, okay, so you can see, all right? So, and I'll cover, if your sciatica is really bad, I'll explain in a second, okay? Because optimally, we want our buttocks to be against the wall. If your hamstrings are too tight, if your sciatica is active, then you basically go against that wall as comfortably as you can without the sciatica being upticked or breaking off. If you've got really tight hamstrings, legs are shaking, you move as far away from that wall as possible till your legs are relaxed on the wall and there is no active sciatica pain. Okay? I can't stress it. A lot of people, they jump into this and they try to go for the optimal position and they end up like their legs are all like, you know, they can't bend, their bums lifting off the ground because their hamstrings are so tight. Okay? I'm going to show you the optimal version first and then we can modify it. All right? So, obviously use a mat for the floor. Wiggle ourselves in. Okay? I'm going to rotate my legs inward, pull my toes back towards my knees, and ankles in. Okay? My arms, thumbs to the floor. Now the action is going to be projecting my heels up and my arms away. But, very important point, I want you to only use 50% of your power. I cannot stress that enough. You literally just want to put the stretch on and feel, okay? You'll feel tension down the side part of your back, your latissimus muscle region here. You're going to feel some tension in your legs, maybe some tension in your hips. That's okay. As you're pushing legs away, arms away, big deep belly breath, and pull that lower back onto the floor, okay? So I'm pushing here, I tuck my chin in, so my head's not tilted back, okay? Tuck my chin in, and you just push to begin with, maybe 10 seconds, just so you get the feel of this exercise, okay? So you keep the tension, keep the legs rotated, my knees are locked, I'm driving up the wall there, push, 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 arms are pushing away, 10 seconds, breathing normally, and then relax. You relax, of course, unwind the legs, bend the knees, bring the arms down. Now, that is the optimal way of doing that exercise, but of course, people may have tight hamstrings, impingement in the shoulder, sciatica might be active, okay? So you have to modify it, all right? So, as I said, I'll just show you from a different angle here. If you need to be this far away from the wall, that's perfectly okay. Okay, I had a guy start once, his legs literally were on a little stool. That was his starting position. If that is what it takes for you, that's perfectly fine. You're still going to be putting in tension in the region. You're still going to get some decompression, okay? Now, this lower back section here, my legs are up in the air. This section here, we are pulling to the floor, okay? That's super important. You pull that to the floor, you lock that region, and then the lower body pushes up, okay? And that's literally pulling the S1, and you're driving the arms away in that direction. And what's happening here is this latissimus fascia connects into the lumbar fascia. Hi guys, pardon the interruption. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but I need your help because I make a lot of content for folks out there suffering with low back pain issues. If you look at a lot of my videos, there's a lot of comments. People really appreciate the work that I'm doing, and I'm super, super happy that I'm helping these people. But you can help me more. If you're not subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button, okay? You're gonna help the algorithm. You're gonna basically get this content out to more people. Yeah, as my content, as my channel grows, more people will get my great content. It's going to help a lot of people suffering with their low back pain issues get back on the road to recovery. It's a small ask because I do make a lot of work here. Of course, I do a lot of filming, producing, etc., editing. Okay, it's a lot of my time to make this content, and I really appreciate that you guys like it. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, and enjoy the rest of the video. Here, and that will help pull the L5. Now, when Dr. Giveaway did the research on this, he was taking x-rays pre and post, and there was getting like 2 or 3 millimeters of decompression was happening. Now, of course, that often returns to normal, okay? But it was enough to give people a benefit, okay? Some pain relief, all right, from their disc issue, be it herniated stenosis, lumbar arthritis, and of course the sciatic nerve pain as well, okay? But the pushing is super important. When I say 50% power, I mean 50% power. A lot of people go into this with 110% power and they hurt themselves. So you think about it, you go and do any brand new exercise that you've never done before and you dive into it, full on, you're most often sore the next day. It often happens with these exercises. You've got to start super slow, 10, 20 seconds, hold max, okay? So this here and breathing not here, but against the wall. Breathing, don't forget to breathe. Each breath, pulling that lower belly button region into the floor, driving the legs up, driving the arms away, okay? 20 seconds, take a break. Now, if you do have some shoulder issues, okay, shoulder impingement, you can modify it again. So say I've got, my hamstrings aren't tight enough, so I'm off the wall a little bit here. Shoulder impingement, all you need to do is just open your arms out, okay? You move them out to where you're comfortable, it doesn't hurt the shoulder, and then bring on the stretch, okay? This time, of course, you're gonna be pushing away from you at that angle. Legs are still pushing up off the up towards the ceiling. Perfectly okay, all right? So, if you hamstring tightness, if you've got sciatic issues, pull your butt off the wall, okay? Shoulder impingement issue, just adjust the arm down till you find the correct location where there is no pain, all right? Intensity, 50% max, 10 to 20 seconds. Next question is, Colin, how often do I do this? When can I do it? All right, when you start, the best time to do it is before you get into bed, right? You brush your teeth, pajamas on, whatever. The last thing you do is this decompression stretch and you get straight into bed. You're kind of setting the spine before you sleep, okay? Now, in the beginning, I would say 10, 20 seconds, right? 1 time per day, pre-bed. I would add 5 seconds to that every time you do it. So how often should you do it? Okay, in the first week, I would do 1 day on, just 1 time, take the next day off. You want to see how the body reacts to this, okay? Most people from experience, they always push too hard and they're a bit stiff and sore the next day, right? So 1 day on, have the next day off, don't do it, right? Do it again the next day. Have another day off. Still feeling okay? All right. Then you can do it for the next 5 days in a row, okay? Try to add an extra 5 seconds each time. So first time you do it, maybe it's 15 seconds, then it's 20 seconds, then it's 25. Keeping to 50% power. We're trying to develop the endurance, okay, slowly, carefully. You work up to 1 minute, just one time, all right? And this might take a few weeks to do this. It's perfectly okay. When you can do 1 minute at 50% power, then you start to increase the power by about 10 to 15% each time. So you're pushing a little bit more and a little bit more, okay? We want to adapt slowly to this exercise. Don't throw yourself in 100% power for 60 seconds because you will hurt something, all right? So it's slow and steady, okay? Point number 2 about improving the stretch, hydration. You want to make sure you're well hydrated, okay? For most tissue hydration purposes, for most women, that's about 2.5 liters of pure water every day. For men, that's about 3 to 4, okay? You want the tissue to be hyperhydrated because if you're trying to stretch, you know, dehydrated tissue, not well hydrated, it's like, it doesn't go, okay? It's like stretching leather, right? It doesn't stretch. So I would advise you to increase, don't go crazy and try to drink that amount of water right away. What most people I recommend is start with an extra 4 fluid ounces, 250 mils, okay, every day. Not every day compounded, but every day for week 1. Then add another 4 ounces, 250 mils the next week, okay? Work your way up to your target, wherever that target is, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4 liters, okay? That will improve the ability of the tissues to be more malleable and to stretch better, all right? Now, if after 2-3 weeks, you're up to a minute, okay, you're doing it with 100% power, you're feeling some improvement, okay, because I do say that, you know, sometimes not every single thing works for most people, but this one I do find it has the most ability to help most people most of the time, okay? After those 3 weeks, everything's working well, then I would say, yes, you can do it more than once a day. If you have time, do it more than once a day. Maybe do it 3-4 times in a day. I would start around about, for most people, 3-4 hours after they wake up, okay? Around about lunchtime or so, depending on what your day is. And then you can do it lunchtime, maybe late afternoon, early evening, and then before you go to bed. So that's 4 times, okay? Do not do it first thing in the morning. Why? Because it takes time for the body to wake up, and the discs are at the most hydrated state. Well, people have a lot of pain in the morning, so I would advise not to do them first thing in the morning. If you are going to the gym, okay, with your rehab and stuff like that, don't do it right before you go to the gym because it will basically desensitize your nervous system. You won't be as up for it, right? You can do it after you've done your workout or your rehab. That's perfectly okay, all right? But as I said, guys, start slow, build it up carefully, and let me know if you see some benefits from it in the comments, all right? So guys, listen, hope this video has been useful for you. If you've got some benefit out of it and you like this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button, okay, so I can help you continue to become pain-free. Don't forget, of course, to like and share this video, and I'll see you all next time. Have a good day.